This is why we go to universities. So please, if you go to university, what it does to you is it broadens your horizon. Okay, it makes you think outside of the box. You know, most of the time we Gambians don't think outside the box. We think, small, and we think on limited, on things that are limited. Okay, so if you go to university, that's why you learn. Your undergraduate, you learn a lot of different disciplines, lots of different subjects. Why are they doing that? Because they want to prepare you wholesomely as an individual and how you're going to, go ahead with your future. That's why you learn some French, you learn some, how to call it, English language, you learn some mathematics, you learn this, you learn that, lots of different subjects to help you, to prepare you to become a better person, to become a better entrepreneur, to become a better decision maker. Okay, so it's really important to think and to do a lot of things on your own, on your own initiative. Okay, right. Sorry, right. Can we move to the question, please? Can we move to the question, please? So I'm going to insert a new worksheet. I'm going to insert a new worksheet. Then we can do the question on it. Are we on the right? Sorry, so not this one. Sometimes this is okay. This is the one that's projected now. Right. Okay, so I'm going to insert a new worksheet. I just click on Add Sheet. By default, sheet 7 comes. I double click on it, and I'll just call it EG8. EG8. Okay, right. So let's read the question. You have it before you, I guess. Example 8, CF Limited. Okay, example 8, CF Limited. CF Limited manufactures 2 cleaning fluids, X and Y. The 2 fluids are manufactured in a joint process. Every 8,000 liters of materials input to the joint process produces 4,000 liters of X and 3,200 of Y. The costs of processing are as follows. Okay, direct material, direct labor, variable production, fixed production. Okay, product X sells for £1, 10 pence per liter, and product Y for 70p per liter. CF Limited could put product X through another production process where there is spare production capacity. The further processing will produce another cleaning product called Z+. Every 1 liter of input to the further process will produce 0.9 liters of Z+. The cost of further processing will be as follows: product X, additional material cost, direct labor, variable overheads, fixed production overheads. Z+ will sell for £1, 40p per liter. Required, using financial reasons only to justify the decision, should the company sell product X or should it further process the product to make Z+? Assume for the purpose of this analysis that direct labor is a variable cost. Okay? So I hope you understand the question. So what the question is trying to say is, this particular institution is currently producing product X and product Y. Okay? So now it's time to take a decision, either to sell product X the way it is, or to further process it to produce a new product called Z+. Okay? So that's the decision. Now you've been asked to advise management as to what decision to take, either to sell product X the way it is, or to further process it to produce a new product called Z+. So what will your decision be made on? What are you going to consider?
Yes, the relevant costs.
Okay, so we're going to consider the relevant costs. What are the relevant costs?
The relevant cost is going to be on product X. That is for every 4,000 of product X, will be produced. They need to produce. They need almost. Astaghfirullah, sorry. What I mean to say is for every 4,000 of product X to be produced, then we need to take that product X, then multiply by the rate of 0.9.
Okay.
To get our total number of hours that will be used in producing product X.
Okay. I think simply what we consider is we need to compare the additional revenue we're going to get if we further process product X, and we compare that to the additional cost that we're going to incur if we further process product X. Simply. So when you look at the first table with the cost, these are costs that are sunk. Of course, they are costs relating to the joint processing. Okay, because of that, they are sunk. They are irrelevant for the decision. Okay, so just immediately after the first table of numbers, whatever comes is what is relevant, because it says product X sells for this per liter. CLM could put product X through another production cost where there is a spare production capacity, okay, to produce Z plus. Every 1 liter of input to further process will produce 0.9 liters of Z plus. Okay, so what you consider is X at the moment has got what? 4,000 liters. Okay, 4,000 liters of X and 3,200 of Y. So if we further process X, the 4,000 liters of X, we are going to get 0.9 of every liter. Okay, so how many units of X plus are we going to get? How many units of X plus are we going to get? Every 1 unit of X, if we process it, we're going to get less than a unit, which is 0.9. So how many units of X, that is when it's processed, how many units of the new product, that's Z plus, are we going to get?
We will have 4,000 multiplied by 0.90.
There you go, 0.90, exactly. It's 4,000 multiplied by 0.90, because every 1 unit of X, when it's processed, we're going to get 0.9 of Z plus. Okay, so it's going to be 4,000 liters multiplied by 0.9. Okay, and then that will give us our, how much are we going to get from there? 3,600, isn't it? Okay, 3,600. So now, those 3,600 are new products. How much are we going to sell them? How much are we going to sell them? It's in the question already. It's in fact the last line.
1.4.
Exactly. So Z plus will be sold for 1.4 per liter. So that means if we want to get the sales revenue for the new product, we're going to multiply the new quantity, which is 3,600, by 1.4. Okay, so to get incremental revenue, we're going to compare this to what?
To 8,000, I think, no. 3,200.
Which product are we further processing? X or Y?
Z.
X or Y? X or Y?
X. We are further processing X.
We are further processing X. So now, if we're going to compare the new product Z plus, which is from X, okay, what two how to call it, revenues are we going to compare?
3,600.
Yes, that is the revenue from the extra sale, the revenue from the sale of X and the revenue from the sale of Z.
Z plus, Z plus. It's Z plus that we are further processing, isn't it? It's X that we are further processing. If we further process X, we are going to get Z plus. And as Z plus, we're going to get a quantity of 3,600 and it will be sold at 1.4. But X quantity is what? 4,000 liters. So what is the unit price for X? What's the unit price of X?
1.10.
1.10. So we multiply 1.10 by 4,000, and then we compare that to the new selling price. So that will give us our incremental revenue. So what about our incremental cost? What about our incremental cost? I want you to understand it first before we do it. What about our incremental cost?
Yeah, the incremental cost will be the additional material, labor, and then overheads.
Okay, good. That's the ones that have been, that's the last cost table. It said the cost of further processing will be. So as a result of further processing, these are the extra costs that are going to be incurred. But is the fixed production overhead going to be part of it?
No?
No.
No, because fixed production overhead is everybody's business. So it's not going to be relevant to only this Z plus, but it's for the organization as a whole. So we cannot add that there. Okay, only the variable cost will be relevant here. Okay, so I hope it's understood. So now we compare the incremental revenue versus the incremental cost. So if the incremental revenue is higher than the incremental cost, we further process. If not, we don't further process. Simple. Okay? So let's go ahead and do it. So CF Limited. CF Limited, right. So let's have this statement down, okay, before we do the computation. The computation is very simple. You know, as you can see, the computation is very, very simple. Okay, so the statement is just like the way we said it. So it's just to get it down, right? So the joint processing, I'm typing it. You don't have to write it to be dictated. You're gonna get this file anyway. So if you want to, write it, you can. But I think there is no need. The joint processing costs. Joint processing costs are irrelevant, just like we've seen. Joint processing costs are irrelevant. Those are the costs that are on top, okay? Just like we've seen, are irrelevant to the decision. They are irrelevant to the decision, okay? They will be incurred. They will be incurred whether product X is sold, whether product X is sold for whether products X is sold for 1.1. You cannot see it now unless I'm ready. Okay? Because
that's what I want to do.
I know that's what you're going to complain. You cannot see now unless I enter, yeah? Don't worry, just follow it the way I'm saying it. Yeah, we have already discussed. I just want to make sure you have it down. That's it. They will be incurred whether product X is sold for 1.1 per liter, 1.1 per liter, or is processed further, to make Z plus. To make Z plus. Okay. You can see it now, can't you? Okay, so I'm going to expand it to 150. Okay, and then I'm going to increase the font size to 12. Okay, so what we want to do is we want this to be centered between column B and column D. Who can tell us what to do?
Let me try.
Yes, go ahead.
You go to align, match.
I go to align mark.
No, you go to match.
No, what do you do before that?
I said you match.
What do you do before that?
You highlight.
There
You
you
highlight.
go. I highlight. So what I highlight from where to where?
From B to E, where you want it to stop.
From B4 to D4. Okay, I
Yeah.
highlight now. I go to.
You go to match.
Okay, that's match here. Match cells. I've matched.
Then you align to the center.
I align to the center. Yes.
Then you go to formatting.
I go to format.
Text wrap.
Text wrap.
Then you wrap.
Oh, excellent. Good. That's good, That's good. So we have an option to either center it, or if we want, we can right align it, or left align it. I think it will be better to left align it. Okay. So we can expand this a bit. We expand this a bit so that
Yeah.
it's on a full page size. Excellent. That was good, Thank you. Right. So then we could say the analysis of relevant cash flow is as follows. The analysis of relevant cash flow is as follows. The analysis of relevant cash flow is as follows. Okay. So we say quantity of Z plus. Mind you, Z plus is the new product, isn't it? So what's the quantity for Z plus? How are we going to calculate that? We've said it already. How are we going to calculate that?
We just
Are you with me?
we multiplied 3,200.
3,200, Ibrahima.
Wait.
You don't look
Let me
properly,
check.
man. 3,200 is Y. It's quantity for Y. Which product are we further processing to produce Z plus? Which one? Is it Y or X?
Product X.
No,
It's
Product X.
4,000.
4,000.
Which product are we further processing? Is it X or Y?
it's X.
There you go. And what's the quantity of X?
4,000
It's
times 0.9.
4,000.
Okay, so 4,000 times. Where is times? Times is on top of 8. I've said it many times. Multiply by 0.9. So you can type 0.9 and you enter. So that gives you 3,600 straight away. Okay. So we have got that on top. So now let's find our how to call it, incremental revenue and our incremental cost. So I just say pounds. Copy. If you want, you can do the pound sign. The pound sign on this computer is not straight away on there. So you can just type pounds, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm going to align these two columns to the right. Okay, I highlight them, I align them to the right. Okay, and in case I have thousands, I'll just do 1,000 separator one time. So I format, I go to format menu, I go to number, I choose number formatting with 1,000 separator and 2 DP, but I don't need 2 DP, so therefore I go and decrease my DP. I click it once, goes to 1 DP, I click it once, 0 DP. Okay, so now prepared my sheet. Right. So how are we going to calculate our incremental revenue? We've said that we're going to calculate the revenue from the new product and we compare it to the revenue from the old product, which is X, and whatever remains is our incremental revenue, and then we do our incremental cost. So what do we have as the first one?
Yes, we have the incremental revenue from X plus.
Okay,
That is the
so we
3,600
just say revenue
multiplied by the rate.
from X plus. Yes, revenue, REVE, revenue from Z plus, sorry, not X plus, from Z plus. Okay, so how are we going to get revenue from Z plus?
Yes, we have the 3,600 by
the
1.4.
Okay, so what formula do we put here?
Equals to D8
D8,
asterisk
just say multiply by.
Multiply by 0.90.
By?
1.40.
Ibrahima,
1.40.
1.40 per liter, sorry.
Ibrahima, you've said it for the first time, it was correct, and now you are saying that you've seen the moon twice. There's only one moon, huh?
1.40.
So what are we trying to find now? Is the revenue from Z plus. Look at it. I've said it here, revenue from Z plus. So you are trying to calculate the quantity of Z plus. We've already calculated that. Is that not here?
Yeah.
So to get the sales revenue, of course, is the sales quantity multiplied by the unit selling price. We all know that, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay. So we know the units of sales. Now we need to we of course we have been given the unit selling price, isn't it? So we multiply the two. What's the unit selling price?
It's 0.90.
1. It's 1.4.
1.4. Thank you.
1.4.
It has been given in the question. That was the last sentence just before the requirement. Z plus will sell for 1.4 per liter. Okay, so we enter. Good. So the revenue from Z plus is 5,040. So let me copy this, then I just change. So instead of Z plus, I just say revenue from X. Okay, so revenue from X is how much? Revenue from X is how much?
4,000.
Emily, what's the revenue? Revenue from X. How are we going to calculate the revenue from X? You are not in last class, but you are in this class, aren't you? Emily? Basin Salah. Basin.
Yes.
Yes, Basin. Can you tell us how we're going to calculate the revenue from X so we can calculate our incremental revenue?
It's going to be 4,000 times 1.10.
Sorry?
4,000 times 1.10.
4,000 times 1.10. So what formula should I put here? What formula should I put on the D11?
Equals to
Quick. Equals
4,000.
4,000.
Multiplied by 1.10.
And what's the multiplication sign? Is it the capital X or small x? Or what?
The star, something like star.
The star, called the asterisk, which is on top of 8 on your keyboard. So to get it, we press Shift under the 8 key. So that will give you the star, which is the asterisk. Okay, multiply by 1.1, yeah? So that gives us 2,400. So how do we find the incremental revenue? Incremental revenue. Okay, incremental revenue is the difference between the two, isn't it?
Yes, you subtract the 2.
Is the difference between the two. Excellent. So how are we going to calculate that? Lamin Y charm. Lamin Y charm. What formula should I put to calculate the difference between these two? The new revenue and the old revenue. Lamin Y charm, are you with us? Jojo Njai. Jojo, are you with us? What formula should I put to find the difference?
Yeah.
Huh?
Equals to.
Okay, I press equals to.
D11.
Equals to D11.
Sorry, D10.
D10.
Minus.
Minus.
D11.
D11. And we enter. What's our incremental revenue? Our incremental revenue is 640. I'm going to make it bold. So now, what is next? What should we do next? We're going
You
to
find your incremental cost.
Okay, incremental cost of further processing lines. Incremental cost of further processing. Incremental cost of further processing. Okay. So what are the incremental cost of further processing? Can you give them to me quickly? We're running out of time. Incremental cost of further processing. They have been given in the question, haven't they?
Additional material 400.
You have the additional material.
Additional mass. Additional material. Okay, additional materials. Okay, how much additional materials?
400.
40.
400. Good. Which one?
Direct labor,
Direct labor.
which is 40.
Direct labor. Direct labor is how much? 40, correct?
40.
And
Variable overheads.
Variable overheads.
80.
VARIA. Variable
Overhead.
overheads. Okay. Variable overheads are how much?
80.
80. Is that all?
Yeah, is that all? That is all.
Oh, yeah. Good. Okay.
Yeah, that is right.
Okay. So we calculate the total. We're going to calculate it under the second column. So what formula should we put to calculate the total?
This sum.
Okay. We say equal sum. Bracket opens.
Yes. C.
C15
to C17. Yeah. We
Yeah.
close the bracket and we enter. Good. So our total incremental cost is 520. So I make that bold. I make 520 bold. Okay, so what have we made? Do we make incremental profit or incremental loss?
It's an incremental profit.
It's an incremental gain or profit. Yes. Okay, good. So our incremental gain, why is it an incremental gain? Simple. Our incremental revenue is higher than our incremental cost. So we have an incremental gain or incremental profit. Incremental profit. How much is our incremental profit? What formula?
The difference between 640 and 520.
Okay, so equals D12 minus D18 enter, which is 120. So our incremental profit is 120. So what's the decision? What are we going to advise?
Decision is, I think we should process it.
Okay, so we should go ahead with further processing. Go ahead with further processing X to produce Z plus So we should go ahead with further processing X to produce Z plus because incremental equals gains because revenue is greater than cost. Okay? So we are talking about incremental revenue. Okay. So now let's say we want to align this. We want to align this between these three columns. So what should we do? Quick one.
Yeah. First of all, we just highlight match the cell. We have already highlighted.
Okay.
Match the cells.
No, Ibrahim, that's not fast. That's not fast.
Ah,
That's not
okay.
fast. We have already
Okay.
done one here, isn't it? Haven't we
Yes.
done this?
Yes, we have done that.
Yeah. So we just copy that. Don't I? I think I told you about the paintbrush, isn't it?
Yeah, you are right. You are right.
Okay. So we just click on this. This is the format. This has been formatted already. So we want to
Yeah.
copy this format. So what's the
Yeah.
format? It has been marked and it has been wrapped and so on and so on. So we don't have to go through all that. So what
We
we
just
do
say
is, okay,
equals
yeah.
to.
No equals to. No equals to, Ibrahim. We just click on this, okay? After clicking on this, we just click the paintbrush, okay, once, and then we come and click this once. Look at it. It has been done for us. Can you see?
Yeah. You are
Is that
right.
not faster?
Very
Yeah.
fast.
Oh, good. So that's what
Thank
we do. We're trying to replicate the format painter. Okay. So this is further processing decision for you. Very, very important for us, especially those that are producing in Africa. Okay. We do a lot of, how to call it, processing that, we sell, we miss out on revenue, to a great deal because we sell our products most of the time in their raw form, and as such, it's only the retailers that benefit from them. Okay, imagine you selling something for $50 each, and a retailer can make $100 each on that. Just like the situation with the mango I told you. The mango that got itself into the UK from Senegal, Gambia. I know it's from Gambia, definitely. And to be honest, if they have to come to Jara and buy that mango from us there, that's not going to cost more than $100. Sorry, that's not going to cost more than $10 each. So if they sell it for something close to $200 when you convert it, imagine how much profit they have made. Okay, so it's really, really important to add value to your products before ever you market them. Very, very important. Okay, so let's practicalize this. When you go back, try and advise somebody who does business that involves buying things in their semi-finished good. Okay, advise them, give them advice. That's why you're learning this. Okay, you have to put it into good use. Okay, right. So if there are no other questions on further processing, we're going to move. We're going to move now. Any questions, please? Right, so I'm going to stop this.